Oh, I'm seeing a race. And I heard myself speak.
I'm seeing a race at Brenton.
Oh, the cash cow just
Are we
got
good?
whacked.
Are we there? Are we all here?
Yep, I can hear you. Oh, the cash cow just got whacked.
I think we are live. I think we are here. I think this is working for a change.
It is.
It is. It's taken a day, but finally we can do the Oz NZ combined year in review. Hello everyone, I'm Dark Racing 40. Alongside me tonight is Commander Sirius. Say hello, Sirius.
How you going, guys? Good evening.
That's it. Sirius has to be on the bit of the quiet side because he's slowly killing the mouse. And also in the party tonight is Maddie Seeking. Hello, Maddie.
Hello.
Slowly killing the mouse. So I'm just checking the audio so we can. Also in the party
That's got to
tonight
be in
is
the stream.
Maddie Seeking. Hello, Maddie.
Hello.
That's fine. It works for me. I'm happy with that. So how we going, boys?
Not too
Good.
bad, mate. Having a
The uh,
weekend.
Yes.
the cash cow getting bullied around in that video sums up the seasons pretty much.
Pretty much. So yeah, so we're using V8 supercars here at Donington, which we never race, which
It's a
we
Branch
should
Hatch.
actually do one day. Yes, this is Branch Hatch, sorry. Donington. I'm getting my tracks wrong already. I'm already stuffing up. So, year in review, boys. It's been a big year for ANZCRL Combined Racing League. We're not going to talk about the PC side because that was another story, but we're going to concentrate on the Xbox side here, and hopefully have this go no more longer than an hour. So, where do we start, boys? Daytona 24 hour. I think that was the first event we had for the year.
Yeah, look, that was the first event I was hoping to race actually, but I signed up to do practice and I did a practice session on my controller. I was like, yeah, we'll see how we go with these boys, and I was doing all right and so keen to race Daytona, but I had a go-kart race on that same weekend. It was a 2-dayer, so I couldn't participate, unfortunately.
Yep, as most ANZ Combined Racing League special events are 2 days. So basically, Daytona was LMP2 and GTE cars around Daytona International Speedway, 24-hour simulated race time. And basically, everyone thought the man who had won every special event last year, who was coming back for this special event, Shads, was going to win this again. So basically, everyone thought, okay, who's going to win? Who's going to come second? So that was literally the plan of what everyone thought.
Yeah, look, I rewatched the replays, mate, and it was actually a stunning race. What a comeback for some of the drivers in there. And yeah, it was just all action at every corner, and I was really wishing I could be a part of it.
Yeah, so as I'm bringing it up, I've got to find the information here. Daytona 24. So yes, so the man who we thought was going to be unstoppable, the man who's going to win it again. So Shads, he come back just to do that one event for the year, and then he switched to PC for everything. I think he set the early pace in practice, or he was one of the fastest in practice. Yeah, he was pretty much there in practice. Um, so yeah, so session one, pretty much. Where is it? Session one. Yeah, so session one, Shad's won that one. So we're like, okay, we're back to normal now. Shads is going to win this one here.
This is in the
With the
LMP2 class.
yeah LMP2 class with and Woody Lizard won the GTE car in the first session. Second session because I think Sato got ahead of Shads for that session, so he won that 2 hour session in the LMP2. And in GT Freight Trainer, the only driver who was going to do all sessions by himself, won that session in the Porsche.
Look, that race was fantastic in that second session in the GTE field. The two Porsches and the BMW were at each other's necks, changing position for the lead all the time. I remember that replay, yeah, full on.
Yep. But then after that, it completely changed. After that, also we have to also almost forgot to mention that the first session, one of the drivers couldn't make it. I think Timmy, yeah, was it? I
Because
think it was
Highlander couldn't make it.
Highlander couldn't make it session one. He was meant to drive the Ford, so they literally just got someone to drive the car, Timmy A2, which he ended up last. But this is where it all starts to switch. So session 3 in the morning session, I've done a massive comeback with Gear 3 Gaming because Gear did the first 2 sessions, and I've now taken the lead of the race by 2 seconds, winning it by 2 seconds at the end. And in GTE, Freight is still leading, but then all of a sudden the 3-man crew of Highlander, Simo, and Timmy have moved up into second for session 3. And then I thought, okay, session 4, Shads is going to drive the car and he's just going to blitz it. But Shads didn't drive session 4, and that completely changed the results with me winning in Gear 3 Gaming and the 3-man team of Highlander, Simo, and Timmy 82 being the first 3-person team to win a special event in GTE. So,
Mate, that last lap there from Simo in the GTE class, he was cruising around. He had next to no fuel left in that thing. Was so lucky to get across the line with half a litre left in the tank.
That's it. So, yeah. So, the year started with the special event with a big bang. So, a lot of surprises, a lot of unexpected actually results, to be real honest, because I don't think anyone would have picked me in Gear 3 Gaming to win the Daytona 24 Hours, especially with Shad's been in it, considering he was the man who won everything last year, absolutely everything.
Colonel Lloyd and Dado Racer were third as well for that one.
Yeah.
And
so they had
so go on.
Yeah, so they had a pretty decent result there. I think they had a few issues, but yeah, they came away with a strong ending.
With in the GTE field, the 2 Porsches of Woody Lizard Metal Drive in the 92 car and Freight Trainer in the 91 finishing second and third.
That's it. So, yeah. So once we finished Daytona, it was back into our time to actually kick off in our regular season. So we went with Formula Fords, and that was 2 races per night. So
the first,
2 races, I think we had performance impacting damage, I think was what we had on.
That's right, yeah.
So because these are single, open wheel cars, you don't want people losing wheels and bombing out of races. So I think we had 2 lobbies, if I'm correct. No, we just had the 1 lobby, which everyone's results combined into that to make up one big grid, basically.
Yeah, it was 2 lobbies to create 1 race. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like 2 lobbies, but you're technically in 1 race. So, and then this sort of started to see the rise of the new alien for the group, Dread 0. Was it 55501? So.
Yes. Yeah. 5.
501.
501.
00001.
So, first race at Red Bull, I won that one with Dread not too far behind me. Race 2 that night, we had a Dubai. Dado won that one. And that was not much in that between, 0.5 of a second at the end there.
That's where I also made my racing debut with the league at that first 2 races on controller it was. And I think I finished a nice...
18th. Finished 18th.
Hey, not a bad effort.
No, that's not right.
I was 13th. Oh, no, never mind. Go on.
Yeah, then we get to Azuru, which is aka Monaco, and then look, Dread's at the front now. This is where
Luke's in 4th, mate.
Yes, you made it come back. You came 4th.
It was my first race on the wheel that week, so I was pretty happy with that.
You outdid me because I went from 2nd down to 9th that race. I went backwards. So this is where I declined in the Formula Fords in this mid-part season. Then we went to Knock Hill, and then look, Dread's at the front again. So he's taking another win now. Yeah, he did actually too. This is it. I had a mid-season slump. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, there's a bit going on in these races. The racing was tough, and it was everyone was so close. The mistakes, the pressure that came under, mistakes were made.
Texas was the next round, which is my worst round because battling for the lead, and because the draft is everyone, you could gain up on people so much and catch and this and that was really good till Jedi made a move down the inside of me. I started to go in the corner and he just went a bit wide, and he decided to put me on my roof. I was not too happy with that one.
Meteorological Sports actually racing for 12th place in the second lobby actually had a really good race.
Yeah.
It was,
and in in that race, Dredd also had a bad race because he DNF. So I think he landed on his roof as well, but he didn't have a reset button, so Dredd was out. So it's one of the few retirements from Dredd. Actually, I'll give you that. I think that's his only retirement. Actually,
That's the only one I can think of.
that's the only one off the top of my head. And then Aussie Carter started to bring it back to him again. So then we get to the final,
Night.
3 races. And then Aussie Carter's starting to fight back here for the championship battle here. So he wins, Cadwell Park, which is another race I was doing well, decided to lose it and then crunch it into the wall.
Behind Sirius again.
A good one there. I finished 6th.
Yeah. Then we get down championships again, right down to the end here. Final 2 races. So we get to Bathurst. Aussie Carter's beats me and Dredd. So Dredd's behind us there. Where are you, Sirius? Let's have
I didn't have a good one at Bathurst.
There he is.
Oh, come on, mate.
And then we get to the final race, which was, I think, on the line for the championship because we were doing a drop rounds point system for this championship. Aussie Carter's won with his brother Gecko and Dredd finishing behind, and Dredd just won the championship. Aussie Carter's won the championship on adjusted points by 2 points. So the racing was hard and aggressive, and it shows the quality of the field. So 2 points.
Yeah. Hey, wasn't
Was
there
the championship?
wasn't there a bit of an altercation at Dubai as well?
Yes, there was. Unfortunately, we had a small altercation between 2 drivers. 2 drivers both taking a slightly different line and going for one corner where there was only room for one car ever. And some words were assigned, and the driver, I think, was suspended for that series. So we're not going to mention names here, but yeah, sometimes racing can get a little bit aggro, as some people feel they were unjustly stuffed over, but it wasn't to be. It was just 2 drivers going for the one spot, and just didn't quite realise exactly where they were to each other. And that didn't quite pay off for them, unfortunately.
Don't know if that would have happened in real cars though.
Oh, they both would have been out and would have been a punch on behind. So
that go-kart race where they throw the cone. It's a
yeah.
So
So
that was a quite entertaining series. Very close, good racing, hard racing all the way through. So some people had good races, some people had terrible races. So, but this is when we start to see the rise of the new alien from the group. So we had Chuck. Now Dredd's here, and now we get to the ELMS series. And this is where it all starts to take off for Dredd now. So with basically a 7-round series, is quite long. Quite long it was. And then we also, and in that time we also had a special event, which was the NASCAR race at Daytona. So we'll go through ELMS.
Okay.
We'll go through ELMS quickly. So LMP2 cars, first race was Big Yaddy. That was interesting. There's one person copped a 40-second time penalty, which I can't remember what it was for, actually. So once again, we did the same thing where...
Oh, no, he went early at the start.
Yeah,
and took the leader out, the pole sitter of the second lobby.
That's right, because we're running 2 lobbies, but technically they were in the one race, so we'll just accumulate their times to evaluate people's positions. So you could have a good race in the second lobby and actually jump people in the top lobby.
We had some issues there in the top lobby, actually. A few drivers getting the cold tyre glitch. And myself, Gear 3 Gaming and Right Solo got affected by that.
And also people not calculating their fuel consumption right either.
Who was that?
Because that was Loft Vanish. He ran out of fuel on the final lap.
Oh, we did too. That's right, I remember now. Yeah.
The funny thing was I got passed by Dredd, and then Dredd let me pass, and I was like, oh, I'm over this race. I'm not having a good race here. I'm just going to fall back behind and finish my race now. Should have kept pushing. I would have gained that one more position and finished fourth. So that just shows if you got to keep pushing no matter what. So
never give up.
That's it. Got to keep pushing. So this is where the reign of Dredd begins in ELMS. So he wins the first round at Bugatti. We get to Monza. Pretty much the same thing. Dredd wins there again. With Blake Orban having a good result there, finishing third.
This was the start of my bad luck run, I think. Having really liked these cars in ELMS. Qualified second, fourth. Yeah, at Monza. I'm gonna have a good run, and I got to the lead actually on the first lap, and then come to that second chicane at the end of the first sector, and went straight off the track and into the gravel trap, and fell back to the rear of the field. Typical Sips.
That's it. So we'll speed this up because we don't want to be going through every single race result. So basically, but Dredd dominated Monza that much. Second place was the only car that was on the lead lap. Second place.
On average, there was only 4 cars that finished on the lead lap in most of the races.
Yeah, that's how quick Dredd was. So get to Mugello once again. Dredd's the fastest. 4 cars on the lead lap. We get to Silverstone. Dredd wins again. This time we had 5 cars on the lead lap this time. We get to Barcelona. Now, Barcelona actually threw up something interesting.
That was
because one Gear 3 Gaming was the pace setter for a change. And we're like, oh,
he
what the hell's going
qualified
on
on
here?
pole, didn't he?
I believe he did. He was the quickest
Only
man
one of
there.
the top
And he was absolutely taken it to Dredd. But unfortunately for Gear, being Gear, he made a few mistakes. And what we found out afterwards, his game gave him super grip. So his car had all the grip in the world. Unfortunately, he lacking a little bit on the talent to use that grip to defeat Dredd there. So Gear came in second there. We had
He did
4
have
cars
the
on
talent to defeat the rest of us, though. And he was
Yes,
leading the
he
race
did.
in the dry. It wasn't until after
Yeah.
the pit stops in the rain did he start to fall behind Dredd. Ended up 37 seconds back. But to beat also Aussie Carters, it was only another 15 seconds down the road. Pretty good effort.
You still have to, even if you still got the grip, you still have to do it on track. So yeah, once again, 4 cars late lap. You can see a sign happening here. Then we get to, was it Spa? Spa was actually a good race for myself. And for you, Sis, you finished 5th there, a lap down. First of the lead lap
Dredd
down.
was
So that's
between me and Tato. I think there was only 5 seconds between us.
That's it, yeah. So Dredd won that one again. I actually was taking it to him, but unfortunately I had to spin. But the fuel consumption of the RWD was not great, so I had to stop twice for fuel, and that really hurt me badly, but I still finished second. Then we get to the final round, and we thought, can anyone defeat Dredd? Is Dredd the championship?
Do you remember me practicing here, man? Do you remember my times? Okay, we practice. I remember we practiced one night, and then my times were so quick, and then we got to the race, and I thought I was going to put it on pole, but I fell short by half a second, which was big within a second of Dredd. It was fast.
So we were running. Is Dredd just going to just hang back with this race, or what's he going to do? Is he just going to or is he going to go for the clean sweep? No, he went for the clean sweep. He got the clean sweep. Sorry. I got another second place there. So yeah,
that race was crazy. If I remember at the start.
Yeah, it was. I think Gecko got involved in incident too. A few people got involved in
I was turn 1. I think I went into the side of Gecko, but then 2 laps later, when I exited the pits, he turned it around too, and there's more chaos.
Yeah. So all these races are on our YouTube channel, which is AUS/NZ Combined Racing League there. So if you want to have a look at some of these races and look at the mayhem and the pure fancy driving that we have in this league in the LMS. So yeah, so Dredd won that. So he cleaned the championship. He won by, I think we had drop rounds in this one too, I believe, but he still won by 80 points. He was that far ahead. The position between second and third was 5 points. Between third and fourth was 1 point. So that just shows you how close. Yeah, behind Dredd was gone. Behind that, it was super close.
Yeah, just trying to get in there with Dado and Jetto near the end there, but
That's it.
fell a bit short.
Then we get to our second special event of the year.
Route 66 to the Daytona 500.
Yep, Route 66 Daytona 500, because basically we're Aussies and we don't know how to turn left well enough. So 66 laps around Daytona is more than enough for us. And the amount of cautions we had, I think it actually wasn't this bad, as bad this year as well last year, because we had one particular driver who was drunk and racing and caused a few crashes last year. So that was entertaining. But Colonel Lloyd won that event, and he discovered something, because without the draft, he was actually pulling away from the group, and we're like, "How the hell are you doing that?" And that's because of the Daytona. So
Yeah.
so that was really that was a good race. Of caution brings it back to everyone. You think about turning left, it's not that fun. Nah, it is quite fun to do a Daytona. So it was Lordy first, myself second, Dark Racing 40, and Gear 3 Gaming coming home in third. So in between me and Gear, there was
Logical Sports.
Oh yeah, it's not even. It's not. It's a tenth of a second basically between three of us for second place. That's how close it was. 1/10 of a second between.
Second place to fourth.
Yeah. So that was close as. So then we get to our next series, which series I didn't race here. Formula Renault Gold Cup here. So we had a two-tier system.
There was the Imola 4 hours before that.
Yeah, we'll get onto that after this. We'll do Formula Renault. We'll get to Imola. So Formula Renault's spec car, basically 2-tier system we had this time.
This was Maddie's first official.
Yeah, it was, but Exaya-12.
Oh yeah, around the time when what's his name?
Too, yeah.
It was Elon Musk's son was born, and we joked about that and put it as our team name.
That's it. So yeah. So I didn't race this series because I wasn't a big fan of. I don't mind the single series, but I just needed a break at this time. So I just like to step out and I don't know what I did actually. To be really honest,
we had the tier
idea.
System in this championship.
That's it. So we had a top tier and a pro and open tier. So the championship once again went to Dredd, but he didn't have it all his own way. He didn't win every single race, which is kind of nice for a change. So after destroying everyone in ELMS, we get to the open wheelers, and he had there was some really, I think there was one race where the gap was absolutely nothing.
Borno.
Yeah.
I think Bruno, I think it was like 0.008. So that's 1 second. So it's a 0.008. So that's absolutely nothing.
They were side by side across the line, and we didn't know who won. We had to look at the scoreboard.
Yep, that's it. And we start to see the rise of, in the open lobby, Weary Knight. He starts to get a bit of a run going in the Formula Renaults as he just about almost won everything. Yeah, he just was.
He was one round near the end. He didn't win.
Two rounds at the end, he didn't win.
Oh, okay.
And he won a third round, he didn't win that either. Because that was... Who won that one?
Gear 3 Gaming won the last round.
Yep. So that was some really... I don't think there's much drama going out racing. I think the racing was quite good. Unfortunately, with most leagues like that, by the end of the season, if you look at our results, if you go to our website, Oz, AUS, NZ Combined Racing League, was it ANZ.Weebly? Yeah, so AUS-NZCRL.Weebly.com. You can go to our archive series. You can have a look at all the results from all our racing in a previous series from past year. So, unfortunately, with most series, we lose a bit of people to the end of it, and we lost a few people there. So,
yeah, we had one combined lobby at the last round.
Yeah, that's just sometimes the nature of the beast. You know, people lose interest, or they don't have good runs, or they don't like the car, and they just decide to bail on it. So we had the champions of Dredd winning the Tier 1 lobby, and We're Not winning Tier 2. Then we had Imola 4 hour amongst all this, which was LMP 900s and GT1 cars doing, it was an hour and a half, I think, racing, was it? I think
it was 2 hours.
Like 2 hours racing. Time 2 hours of seat time, but simulated in the game 4 hours of racing. So that was a wet to dry race, which actually threw a lot of cat amongst the pigeons for everyone.
Yeah.
And once again, it was your boy Dark Racing 40 who won that one over, surprisingly, Dredd actually, who was in that lobby, who I thought, okay, he's going to be the man to beat, but he just struggled with the change of conditions. And it also was... And also was your boy Commander Cirrus winning the GT1 race.
Yep, that was my first win of the league.
A Toyota.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was wondering what car you were driving.
Toyota GT1, my friend. I love that car
That's
now.
it.
I cannot wait to get back in my baby. Good memories.
So, and that
Yeah,
was a good race because
yeah,
with the rain, there's a few spots where big puddles, and you had to kind of avoid. You had to go so wide, it was ridiculous to get around a couple of corners. But yeah, that was I really enjoyed that race. The start was absolutely fantastic with me, Dado, and Tread
yeah.
just going at it. Like neither of us could really catch each other, but we're just going around, super close to each other. Just
There was a problem in the start with at the back end of your LMP 900s. I think Gear 3 Gaming had a bit of a lag spike. The other boys in my class saw him go off the track on the outside, but I saw him spin out, so I slammed the brakes on into turn one, between turn one and two, and not to hit him, but the other guys didn't see him, and ended up slamming into him. So there was a bit of a pile up in there. Four GT1 cars, which saw Woody actually, who was a favourite going into it, have quite a bit of damage in his Porsche, and Jetto also
that's
picked
it.
up a bit of damage in the Mercedes he was in, which kind of gave me a bit of a breathing room because I only really had Jetto on me for the first half of the race before the changing of the conditions slipped him up a little bit and ended up pulling 2 laps on him.
That is correct. This also was the birth of a new league. Um, how would you say it? A new league idiom, a special word that it gives drivers fear of doing something stupid in our relays. Because
It was the
there were
most
four
funniest
cars.
thing.
It was the most funny thing. There was 4 cars out of one team, and the team was called Champion Autosport. I believe that,
Champion
if I'm
Racing.
correct. Champion Racing. All 4 Audis
There's
from
3.
that one team. No, all of them ran out of fuel. They all, I think they all ran out of fuel. Some crossed the line with no fuel, but they all ran out of fuel.
It
So
was
there it became the new term of doing a champion, running out of fuel before the race is done. Now,
we were watching Gecko, who, well, this was another interesting story about this race. So we had Aussie Carters and got Gecko, and Aussie Carters qualified on pole, but Gecko had a problem, disconnected at the end of qualifying, but because we were on the online
oh yes,
championship, he was
they
able to
did
get back
that.
in at the
Yes,
end. So when he got back in, and it led him into the
no,
loading screen, hang on, yeah, yeah. Then Aussie Carters got disconnected because they're brothers and they were sharing the same internet. The Aussie Carters has lost pole position and got Gecko starting at the rear of the field. So because they live in the same household, Ozzy ran across the outside of the house, jumped in his brother's sim rig and
he's
did the first stint in the rain and bring that car from the back into the midfield. And by the time Gecko got in it, actually got them into contention of a podium with Dread.
yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, so we actually had that first Oz and Z Combined Racing League driver swap because 2 people lived in the one house.
Yeah,
So, but unfortunately, it
it
came
all
to
came
null that.
unstuck in the last 2
That's it.
minutes.
Yep. When
Because
Gecko didn't put enough fuel in his
Gecko
car.
and Dread, no, they were fighting each other. This was the best thing. They were fighting each other. They were coming down the hill. You could see, I think it was Dread or was in the lead. It was in third. And he backed off, and so did Gecko. And they both backed off at the entrance of the pits because they were unsure of what the other was going to do, if one was going to go for it or one was going to pit on the last lap. Dread pitted, and Gecko had stuff it up going around. And so Dread had to make another stop. And Gecko goes around and he gets almost back to the pits before pulling up. Gear 3 Gaming in 5th has gone, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to get another spot here and jump to 4th. He also follows Gecko around. So they're both parked up at the pit entry.
Yeah. The silly thing was, they asked for this, just someone pushes across the line. If they went for the start finish line, they would have finished the race. But because they got pushed into pit lane, as soon as the car made the pit lane, the car was ghosted and they were disqualified. They were
Yeah,
they were DNF'd, unfortunately. If they would have gone, no, I said to them, like after I said, no, don't go down pit lane as they were about to do it, and I said, don't go down pit lane. It was too late, and
Jetto,
they pushed him into pit lane, and because
Jetto
he went to
pushed
pit
in.
lane, I thought, oh, I'll get fuel in the car. No, this game doesn't allow you to restart your car in pit lane if you've got no fuel. You have to be in your pit bay with the engine running. If the engine's not running, the game technically you can fuel them, but the game won't actually let you sort of drive out. Unfortunately, that's a bit of a thing that sucks. But hey, it works. So
I just remember Gear saying, "Hey, can I get a push from someone?" As I came through the last corner and watched him, and I said, "No, I'm winning my class, man. I'm not gonna give that up." But I just felt it was just one of those, like nerd eggs.
So the new term was birthed doing a champion. So running out of fuel in the racing.
That's happened many times since.
Funny enough has. So yes. So before we go into the next series, we'll actually go to the next special event, which would have been Indy 500.
Oh,
Brickyard. 200 laps. This is the only race that we actually do in real length distance, and we do it in one hit. There's no lobbies, split lobbies. It's one hit. 200 laps of Indy cars around the Brickyard. Away we go. 200 laps. Have fun.
It's also the only race we do in this series where we have the safety car as a feature.
No,
the virtual safety car.
We do in NASCAR too.
Oh, do you? Oh, sorry. Yep. All right. I didn't do that
NASCAR race. We do. Yeah. In the ovals, we kind of in the oval racing we do it. In the IndyCar series last year, we did it, but yeah, at Indy. So unfortunately, with Indy, because we can't turn left good enough because we're Aussies, damage was off. Last year we did it with performance impacting, and it was terrible. Like the racing was not good. So we turned damages off this year, but we made a rule that basically if a safety car happens, it's going to be no more than 2 laps. 2 laps, that's it. Then we get back to racing. Because basically we want to get back to racing as quick as we can. We don't be spending heaps of time under safety cars. So let's get going. We had the man Sato return, who finished technically second behind Shads last year, but because he had a time penalty, dropped him back to third behind myself. He returned, so he was out for Vengeance. So he was one of the quickest. I was one of the quickest. I think quite a few of the Hondas were pretty quick. One of the persons who was actually a bit surprised, Weary Knight, wasn't. I don't think he was actually one of the quickest there at the time. He was there, but not quite there.
Yeah,
but I think he found some.
Qualified 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see, So it didn't really seem much, I think. But when race time came around, boy, did that all change on lap 2 when Sato couldn't make pit lane and just plowed it into the wall, bringing out the first safety car.
Yep,
he literally could not get a pit lane, so he's going, well, I'm just going to hit the wall and plows it straight into the wall.
He tried to bail out of it, actually. That's what happened, because he came in and he locked the brakes up, because if you speed for more than 10 k's an hour in the pit lane, you get disqualified. So we're all afraid of going in too hot. So he tried to bail out and just hit the wall.
Well, you're coming from nearly 300 kilometers per hour, and
you have to brake almost straight away when you straighten up out of the last corner.
And you got cold brakes, and it's just it can be quite scary. So
that's one way you just stop yourself from getting disqualified. You take the hit.
Whack the inside tyre wall. The car's got no damage. You just have to jam it in reverse, and then light it back up and get going again. So we only had 9 cars for the start of this one, I believe. Yes, not a big field, unfortunately. Yeah, not a big field. We had a disconnect, so about 30 laps in, I think it was 30, 40 laps, something like that. Unfortunately, Sato disconnected.
Oh, his strategy was put him in a very nice spot, even after the 19 laps.
Matty was cracking the numbers for all the drivers.
I don't know how his strategy was going to work. I don't know how his strategy was going to work out. He said, I was part of my strategy pin this early. I'm like, how?
Yeah. I couldn't see. None of us did a green flag stop for a long time.
I had the numbers running, and he would have been looking very nice.
Yeah, I didn't see it myself. I don't know how it would have worked out, but yes. But unfortunately, he'll have to come back for next year to wait and see. So then it became literally, surprisingly, a 2-horse race, and when Jeddah was in the mix. Jeddah was in the mix quite early.
Myself and Weary Knight were as well.
Yeah, so it's sort of like, sort of a 4-man race there. But for myself, from my point of view, it literally felt like a 2-person race. Myself and Weary Knight, because Weary Knight all of a sudden found a ton of speed, and he was massively quick.
You two were positioned well after the green, the safety car stopped at around lap 50-ish. And during the green flag runs, you and Weary Knight were up the front. Me and Jetto were trying to keep up with you in 3rd and 4th off strategy a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, so that happened. That was So we were swapping back for. So I think I pitted first, and we would take the lead. Then I could see I'd be closing the gap to Weary. Then he would pit. Then I'll pull the lead on him, and it was just this back and forth. Like we couldn't really massively pull the gap on each other or close the gap. It just maintained. But due to our pace in the cars, it would always end up being about the same by pit stops. Then it gets down to the end where I think we had a safety car. Oh, we've had a crash. We're under safety car. I've come around the corner and then someone's tagged me, and all of a sudden I'm on my roof. I'm like, oh no! And is this still green? I got to get to the line for the safety car because we raced back to the line for the Indy 500. So I'm like, gotta go. I think it was actually Jetto might involve me, or I can't remember.
I think it started with my spin, and Jetto hit me. And then
I've come around the corner, and then Jetto's just there, and I've just
Jetto was trying to get sorted after we called the safety car.
So then that was a big scare for myself. I'm like, oh man. But then I think, was it because of that?
Well, that's the thing.
Another safety car. Then everyone
because
was
you
lapped
crossed
down.
the line. Yeah, when we all pitted straight away, but not realizing it had already crossed the start line, so you were coming around again. And the whole field went a lap down.
Yeah. So the few times ever, I was in the ultimate box seat. I was like, hey, I'm a lap ahead of everyone here. I don't have to do anything here anymore. I just have to keep running. It's like this is brilliant now. I'm laughing my head off now. Then we had another late safety car, and this was a bit of a unknown decision for myself because I'm in the lead. I'm coming towards pit lane. I knew I could take my pit stop now, or do I just don't? And I was trying to see what everyone else was going to do behind me. Are they going to pit now, and hopefully they can unlap themselves, and when I pit, and then maybe hopefully they're far enough ahead of me, or do I just pit now and have So then my next stop is short, but then hopefully you guys don't unlap themselves. And I was like, well, I'm going to pit, bugger it. I'm going to take the short stop at the end here, and I've done that. And then what was your call, Weary? Serious to Jetto?
What are you doing, man?
Yeah, get going, mate. He's pitting, move,
that's right.
Go, start accelerating. Let's go. We're going to get back around before he gets out of pit lane.
That's it.
So I got my pit stop done, came out of pit lane. All you guys have unlapped yourselves now, but I got out of pit lane before you guys, so I'm back in the lead now. So I think we've got one stop to go.
And we all had one stop to go, but the thing was actually, that safety car was just on the edge of the pit window, so you were fine. Definitely one stop to go.
Yeah,
I think the rest of us, because I was calculating the numbers because we needed to stay out to get our lap back or pit, and we'd be fine on fuel. But either way, it was, which you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I realised this, and once I got green again, I started backing off. I started leaning fuel out to try and get to that lap 170, 171 to make it home on one more stop. But that cost me a lap as well. I was driving around 2 seconds slower.
So we've gone from having everyone down a lap to everyone being the lead lap. But yeah, and then unfortunately, I think for Weary Knight, he had a spin late in the session.
Oh yeah, when I was trying to unlap myself from him, I think I ran into everything. I think we touched wheels, and he had a spin just before the end. But he was, I was third, he was second, and I had Jetto right behind me, and fourth, got back on the track. It was no problem for his second.
But then after, in that little short window, after that pit stop and that little incident, that put everyone down a lap again. So everyone went down a lap, unlapped themselves, and by the end of the race, I'd lapped everyone again because of that spin from Weary. If Weary didn't have that spin, he would have been fine. So that was an absolute fan. I've watched that. To be honest, I've watched that replay of that race, which is on our YouTube channel, 3 times now. It's two and a bit, but it is one of the best races I've seen. Just the back and forth, just the way it played out.
About 100 laps of green lap running actually in the middle of the race.
Yeah, it was
close.
One of the longest stints we've had of green lap racing. So. That was absolutely spectacular. So.
The most disappointing thing, Weary Knight was second and I was third, but the most disappointing thing was as an achievement for doing 200 laps around Indy 500 on the Xbox, and I missed it by 1 lap.
There's also an achievement for winning the Indy 500 called the Milkman.
So you could have got 2 of them. The
Yeah.
rest of us have to wait till next year.
Oh no, I already did 200 laps the year before, so
Oh, okay, fair enough. That was honestly
So-
one of my favourite events of the year, and I can't wait to
That's
do it
it.
again and have a full grid of cars. Anyone can win
So that's
that
it.
race. It's all
That's
about luck and strategy.
so that's it. So yes, so then we'll get to the next series, which was a teams championship, 2 drivers.
There was
Saturday,
something just
Sunday night.
before that, though. There was another special event because
Yes, but I'll get into that after this one. We'll do that one after this. Special.
Alrighty.
We'll do that special one after this series. So GT Global Series, GT cars. First time we actually did GT cars ever as a series. So Saturday and Sunday race for about, I think they were an hour and 10, hour
they were
and 15
both
minutes. I think it was.
70-minute sessions.
70 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
Excluding Nürburgring, which was 95.
It's because we simulated the Nürburgring 24 hours there, which I readily enjoyed. So yeah, so myself and Dredd teamed up together in the Corvette. Aussie Carters and Got Gecko, Brothers of War, teamed up in the Ferrari. We only had one BMW, which I was actually a little bit surprised that we actually had a BMW, and we had one Porsche, which actually was a surprise. The majority was Corvettes, actually, which actually...
Corvettes and Fords.
Yeah, Corvettes and Fords, which actually kind of took me back by surprise. Actually, I thought we might have, maybe another Porsche and another Beamer and another Aston, but...
I was hoping for 2 of each car would have been great, but
Lucky the Ford is on point.
So the hot money was the pace of myself that in recent races, and the man who'd pretty much dominated everything in ELMS and pretty much did everything in the Formula Renault.
and see
Myself and Dredd, myself and Dredd will be the ones to catch and beat. Didn't turn out that way, unfortunately. We were the ones doing the chasing, and we were chasing a particular Ferrari of Aussie Cars and Got Gecko. The Brothers at War were surprisingly, and that Ferrari was actually surprisingly quick.
Yeah, you can't. Also, you got to hand it to the Ford team of Highlander and Sumo Racing. Highlander did bring that car home in first place in most of the first sessions of the year.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, that was actually a good series.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Some great racing all throughout the field, at the front and at the back.
Sneaky wild card here and there.
Yeah, there was.
That's it.
Matty made a wildcard
That's it.
appearance in that one as well. And a
Wild
few
card
others as well.
appearance?
Nürburgring 79 actually won. I came third at the Nürburgring 24-hour in his wildcard appearance.
Yeah, he was doing really well in that Ferrari, so he did quite good.
Did the milestone of getting the Ford through a stint without stopping.
That's it. Highlander and Sumo, they did quite well. And Highlander said anytime he was driving the car and a session wasn't streamed, he won the first part of the race. But unfortunately, when it was streamed, he was nowhere to be there. So, because he won the first leg of Indy at the Indy track, but which actually was really close at the end. There was like half a second between myself and him at Indy. But yeah,
Yeah, the top 4 I think were separated by only, which was my best first stint I had all year actually in that. All season. I think I got a 4th and I was 20 seconds off the front, so I was pretty happy with that in that race.
yeah. So we'll go through the results through here quickly. So Gecko and Aussie Cars won at Bathurst with Highlander, Simo, and Dredd and myself. Third, excuse me. Hang on.
Did Gecko solo drive at Fuji and Indy, did he?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm just choking on my own drink here. The excitement's getting me too much. Yeah, so Gecko soloed at Fuji and won it with myself and Dredd and Highlander and Simo in third. Then myself and Dredd got our first win, which was actually Indy with Gecko and Woody and Sato in the Beamer.
Yeah,
actually,
the BMW
Coming
was
over
usually quick.
Then we get to the Nürburgring 24-hour race, which was 3 sessions, which was Dredd when we said, oh, we're going to do the Nürburgring. He was like, you can do that. I'm not touching it. But then when he drove it, he's like, this is fun. I'm enjoying the track. I'm really having fun here. So we absolutely dominated that one. We won by 2 minutes, 27 seconds. But if you think about the Nürburgring, when an 8-minute lap, 2 minutes isn't technically that big. But yeah, with Gecko and Cars and Nürburgring, as you said, as a special entry coming down in third. He did well in the Ferrari.
That race came down to the wire for fourth place between my car and the Corvette and the 91 Porsche car. It was the start of a great rivalry between me and Havoc. And still to this day we have great races.
Anti-logical sport, because you guys in that last session were switching place between all three of you, if I believe.
Oh, I think he got close, but then just made a mistake of his own toward the end.
Yeah.
Illogical.
Yeah, so you guys were really, really having to go at it in that third session between the two of you guys. Then we get to Red Bull Ring, which is Got Gecko, Simo Highland, Dredd and myself. And then we get to the final round, which is at Sakato, which is Suzuka, basically. It's I can't believe it's not Suzuka, which was a night race in the rain.
Yeah.
Which I think it dried out. I think it was.
It went from dry to wet to dry.
Yeah, so that was heaps of fun. Actually, I really enjoyed that track.
I was having fun. I got to second at the start of that race, but threw it away in typical serious fashion.
me and Dredd needed Gecko and Aussie to finish 5th, so we needed other people to come to the party so we could win the championship. Didn't quite happen.
It was starting to happen.
It was at the front. At the start, it was happening. He was like, "Oh, we're in for the championship now," but unfortunately, didn't quite happen. And Aussie Cars and Got Gecko won the championship by 3 points over me and Dredd.
It was so close.
That just showed,
it's the only race the Aston Martin shined in.
Yep.
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
Surprisingly.
And another
it was quick there.
A shout out to the Dado and Metal Drive and the Aston, but also the round before, I think Captain Cranky and the Caleb got their head around that Ferrari at the Red Bull Ring coming fourth as well.
Yeah.
Also worthy of a mention. Yeah. The funniest thing is actually, if you look at every race except Nürburgring, the number 8 Classic Racing Ford of Weary Night and Gear 3 Gaming finished 5th at every round except for that one.
Oh, did they?
They did.
I didn't even know that.
They did. Just remember that lawn mowing yellow car though at Nürburgring.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah, it was sponsored by Victor. That's right, Victor Lawnmowers.
But Shads actually came out of retirement for that round 6 and partnered with Gear 3 Gaming.
Yeah, and then he was like, "What is this? How do you drive these cars fast? How am I getting my ass beaten so badly?"
He did a good job.
He struggled. He really struggled.
Came back at him on the last lap in the rain and just finished just behind him.
Yep. Yeah. So Got Gecko and Aussie Cars wins the GT Global Championship, but again another close finish championship. So we had Formula Ford close, ELMS was a blowout. Formula Renault wasn't too bad, but GT Global another super close championship. Now we ran a special event. I think it was in between that series, or just at the start of it.
It was before. I think it was
just before
during the Formula C, because a lot of the teams carried over.
That's it. So Le Mans 24-hour, LMPH and GTE now. So again, same as Daytona, same sort of setup. 6 hours of seat time, 4 sessions, all time in the game, sped up to make 24 hours. So Sato came back to team up with myself for Le Mans in the Audi. We had Aussie Cars and Got Gecko in the Audi. I think you tried the Toyota but couldn't get your head around it.
Yeah, we were going. We thought was pretty quick times, the low 20s, in a Toyota and Jetto, and I think I hit the 18s once. But we just, we found out what times you guys were doing, and we were running out of time. We couldn't figure it out, so we went to, instead of running around 3rd or 4th place on our own, we were like, we'll go run in the GT field and mix it up and hopefully come out with a win.
That's it, yeah. So with a bit of help from Sato, the setup that I gave him, we barely changed it at all. Like, it was pretty much the same as what me and Fish ran the year before, where we finished second to Shaz and Squid by 2 seconds. Like that's that. If you want to see a good comeback at Le Mans, it's a 1 hour video. Go watch the 2019 ANZ Combined Racing League Session 4 Le Mans, where Shads and Squid were 40 seconds up the road, and I reeled them down to 2 seconds at the end, and I did the fastest lap of the race at the end there, so 2 seconds. So I was determined to get this Le Mans win this year. I'd won it previously twice in the LMP2 when we ran LMP2s as the lower division. This time I wanted an outright win. Got so close, but yeah. So me and Shades were quick, and me and Sato, sorry. And Sato just basically said, oh no, do this. And we found pace like there was no tomorrow in that Audi. Well, Sato was doing 2:15 in qualifying, 3:15 in qualifying.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, we are going quick. We were looking at this going, this could be the quickest Le Mans we've ever had. So this is going to be really entertaining here. So Sato qualified. He won, finished session 1. He got that. Jetto did put it on pole for the Corvette of yourself, and you guys won that session too. So
Yeah, that was start for our team in the GTE class. We thought, looking at practice, we might be looking pretty good for a win here, and yeah, the plan was just to start off, take it easy, and we'll just hand it over to each other there or thereabouts, and see how it goes. Take it one session at a time, and it was working for us in that first session.
That's it. So we get to session 2, which is the longer session, because me and Sato worked out that potentially on fuel, I should be better than Sato. Well, it didn't quite work out. We still had to do an extra stop more than we wanted to do, but we were quick again. I made one mistake and I had a spin, but I didn't crash the car, and it was just, the thing was fantastic, driving quick. So we won that. We won that by 1 minute and 8 seconds. That's how much in a 2 hour stint we were that much quicker, which I was actually shocked by. I was expecting Aussie cars and Gecko to be on my backside the whole time.
I think they got caught out in some. They did get caught
out.
Yeah,
a couple of back shenanigans.
Yeah, and always at the Porsche curves. Anytime anything happened, it was always at the Porsche curves. Oh, I've caught a car. Where are you? Porsche curves. Oh, I've nearly hit the car. Where are you?
Because anywhere else you can just
nearly
breeze
been
right
hit by an
past them.
LMP car. Where are you?
Every time we flicked over the commentary to the Porsche curves, there was always an LMP car stuck behind a GTE.
You can't pass it. You just have to wait there. Fortunately, it's just too risky. So
yeah. But
session 3.
Hang on. We haven't finished the story yet. There's another class.
Another class?
Yeah, the GT. You didn't say anything about the GTEs in that.
Session 2 in the GTEs was
the
phenomenal, to be honest.
Dado was applying pressure in his Aston Martin, and he took he took the lead actually on the Mulsanne Straight about 50 minutes in. Only for the length of the Mulsanne Straight though, however, because at the other end, going into the corner, he just went in a bit too hot, locked the rears up and spun out.
And a lap later, a little bit of a tangle with a back marker.
That was about half an hour later. But yeah, he dropped about 10 seconds. We did our pit stops. He was starting to close in on me. And we had a bit of a tangle with a lapped car in our own class, and that gave Dado a lot of damage. And so at the end of the session, I think I ended up 1 minute and 40 in front of him. Yeah, 1 minute 40 in front. And I also almost binned it once. It was while I had that gap. I almost crashed it at the Porsche curves.
That's it. So that was starting to come on for GT. So you used to.
You had one hand on the trophy, man.
That's it. You were halfway through there. You're looking good.
30 seconds at the restart. Yep.
That's it. And then session 3 happened, and that's when it all fell to pieces.
Yeah.
This is the start. The pieces all falling down for GTE drivers. So at the front field, stayed the same. Me and Sato at the front. Got Gecko in second. Lockie and Woody in third, if not Pegasus in fourth on the LMPH cars. About
15 minutes.
About 10-15 minutes into one Jetto 13 disconnected
It was heartbreaking.
If you're going to disconnect from a lobby, you don't want to disconnect from the 2-hour session lobby. If you want to disconnect, you want to disconnect from the 1 hour lobby. It's not that bad. You can make up for, but in the 2-hour session lobby,
you want to disconnect in the first session if you have one.
Yeah. Or right at the end of a 2-hour session, so it's not that bad. So unfortunately, that dropped you guys out of contention by
completely.
A bucket load.
Well done.
You were out of it.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking for the two of us. I was on the stream. I had to keep my composure. But Jetto had a rage, man.
He literally got out of his sim rig, stormed through the house. His wife at this time said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Don't speak to me. I'm going for a walk. I'll speak to you when I come back." And he just left the house. So if you saw an angry man around that time in Tassie just swearing and cursing, that would have been him.
The whole of Tasmania could have heard him shouting that day.
That's it. And then session 4 happens.
So Weary Knight actually came through because that gave the lead to the Aston Martin of Metal Drive, but Weary Knight came through and took the lead and had about the same gap, 1:40 or something, going into the last 2 minutes actually. Over Datto.
He pulled out a 2-minute lead over the Aston Martin. So
him and Gear 3 Gaming had one hand on the trophy.
Yeah, so they've just gone, "Thank you very much. We'll take this." Then session 4 happened. So we'll go with GTE first. No one wants to lead. No one wants to be the leader.
I don't even know if he did a lap.
No, I don't think he. I think he one lap.
He completed one, and he was on his second because I remember being parked up at the time, having to wait my 10 minutes at the start. And he disconnected.
Yeah, so then we lost the leader again in GT. He's like, well, no one wants to win this race. No one wants to be at the front of GT. And that all fell into the hands of one Metal Drive 05 and Datto Racer. It literally landed in their lap. They just cruised around. Yeah, we're doing our own race. We had a few spins, had a few instances, and all of a sudden they look up and go, this is for me? Yes. Le Mans 24-hour GT Championship for me? Yes. And it was. It just fell into their hands.
Yeah, they were donning the berets probably halfway through. They were ready to party it. So.
I think they were like, we're just here for a Sunday drive, and they're half cut most of the time. And then on Sunday, they're like, oh wow, we've won this. How have we done this? Like Datto was really wrapped with that actually. So
he said going into it that he was ready to try and claw back in a 30-second deficit, and after the first lap, it was his to lose. And he managed to hold on, coming first over the three-driver team of Timmy 82's Slide Science and Sato 15 and the Team Apex Eaters Porsche.
Yep, so they were... Sato got rained in next, they needed an extra driver, same thing. That caused a lot of incidences too. That saw a lot of wall damage. So, but yeah, they finished second, which was a decent result for them. In Gear 3 Gaming and Weary Knight finished...
well, they had completed more laps in that second session, was why they... Yeah. So I finished third in that session, because it was only 4 cars.
By not even doing the race.
Yeah.
And then we get to the champions, which was Sato and myself, Dark Racing 40, with Got Gecko and Aussie Carters. They finished almost 1 minute behind. And with Night Pegasus in the Porsche, because Lockie had issues again.
Point. Yeah.
Yeah, and Night Pegasus, who was nowhere in the race, crashing the car almost everywhere.
He actually got hit at the start of session 2 by one of the GTE cars starting their race. Yes, he did too.
So he had to do a whole lap. Yeah, he had to do a whole lap with no rear wing, and then come to pit just to fix the car up. So he had a terrible first lap. So that really, it kind of hurt him, but in the end, it didn't sort of seem to hurt him. So yeah, he came third, and he got to the end. He got to use the car by the end.
Yeah.
So that was one of my biggest wins. Like, I wanted that win so much. I was wrapped with that. Unfortunately, we weren't the fastest Le Mans race we've ever done because we fell 2 laps short of the fastest Le Mans race.
I still call BS. The pace at the front was just so quick.
Yeah, but we worked out why that Le Mans was fast in this one. because the slower cars in that Le Mans were LMP2 cars. It took you longer to catch LMP2 cars, and when you did catch them, even at the Porsche curves, you weren't losing as much time compared to a GTE car.
That's true. And even if you all finish the race, you're still waiting for an extra 40 seconds for a GTE car to finish.
That's it. So yeah, so that was Le Mans.
We had 2 lap records actually as well. We had Sato race lap record in the 3-minute 15.3 in that number 8 Audi, and
then one Commander Cirrus.
Yeah.
What time?
I was so proud of that 3:53.9.
He was on for a second hot one as well.
The last lap I was up a second and stuffed it.
Yeah, but then we heard in the distance, typical Cirrus.
The funniest thing was I smacked down 2 cans of Bundy rum while I was waiting for my 10 minutes, and does it count with performance enhancing drugs?
So yeah, so that was our Le Mans. Crazy in the end, super fast, aggressive driving. Really good racing.
Robbed.
Yeah, and people getting robbed. Everyone getting robbed at the wrong time. So, then we get to what was our next?
Supercars.
Supercars, everyone's favourite and everyone's hated favourite car.
The legend of the cash cow came in.
That's it. We had, and also
no, there was something before that. The before the Bathurst at least about the cash cow.
Oh yeah, but that's Bathurst. That's
no before
the Spa.
Yeah, the Spa. That's all right. But
we'll get into it after. We'll get into after V8s. So then we go into V8 Supercars, 2-tier system again. So Open and Pro Series. Pros have realistic driving aids. Open had ABS and traction control for their normal series. But Bathurst 1000 was part of the championship. But when they got to Bathurst, no ABS, no traction control. So that made it a bit of a struggle for some of the Open guys. I decided to sit this series out, but I was teaming up with Highlander, and Highlander he wanted this championship bad. He wanted it really, really bad.
Didn't he finish second the year before?
Yes, he finished, I believe, second the year before. He was quick, and he also wanted the Bathurst 1000 win too. So I was teaming up with him for the 1000, but I wasn't going to do the regular season. I decided to step out, just to, I didn't really like V8s too much. They're not my cup of tea. So Donington Park National, Highlander comes out for the win. Bang, straight away. He's out the front there. Woody lives in God Gecko. The tier Super 2, which is the lower tier, Jetto was out the front. But Jetto couldn't do every single round. He was only going to do, I think, four races. 4 or 5 races, maybe, I think, for the whole series. So, second race at Donington, God Gecko. Wins with right, so Matty, and then there's Matty Seeking in 4th. Highlander had a terrible race.
Yeah, I kept Highlander behind me there. He couldn't get past.
Yeah, every time Highlander go to make a move to move up past someone, make a mistake and go backwards, went the other direction. So that was good. Jetto won Super 2 there for the second race at Donington. This was a sprint race at Donington too, so there's 3 races that night there. Gecko wins, Highlander second, Datto third. Cirrus nicely in 4th. Where are you, Matty?
I was in 3rd, then binned it 2 laps after getting in 3rd.
That's it. Super 2 sees Lolux wins that race. And then do the fastest lap of that 3rd race at Donington.
Won his first race for the league, yeah.
That's it, yep. So his first win in there. Then we go to Rapuna Park, which is a 2-race format. Highlander wins it comfortably with 15 seconds over Woody, right? So Matty in 4th. Illogical Data. Oh, look, there's Sifs in 8th.
I was sick that weekend.
Yes. You had mad hay fever, I believe you said.
Race one and that Supercars was awesome because you had Woody who's come in and pitted with 4 tyres. I've pitted a lap later and got 2 tyres. He's still in pit lane when I've gone past. I've gone, hell yeah, let's go. And then Ryan was pitted in a lap after, and he's come out between us, and we've all meted the first corner, which then I've immediately binned myself.
Catch up the cash cow.
Yes,
And then the second race is probably one of the best summaries of the cash cow, where the I've disconnected and the car's scooted across the track and straight to the wall.
Took 2 people in that thing as well.
So Highlander won that race. Woody in second, Rydesore in third, with Matty Seeking cutting Rapuna Park in half, walking back to pit lane because obviously he wanted to get out of New Zealand. He's had enough, so bugger this, I'm gone. So yeah, he disconnected, drove across the track, serious. So then the curse really kicked in nicely at that round, because anytime, if anyone doesn't quite understand, anytime someone runs the cash show sponsored car in any format, they tend to have one good race or they qualify well, but then it just falls to pieces. And that also happened at Spa too, which we'll get to that in a minute. Super 2, Night Havoc gets a win there over TV. Jetto is not here for that round. Night Havoc wins the second race again over Timmy and Emi, so top 3 once again the same. A few things happened in the I think a bit of an incident happened in that race. I think Lolox got involved in that, unfortunately.
I think Lolox had issues to connection, actually. He missed the second race.
That's it. Then we get to Bathurst. The big one, the 1,000 race. 4 sessions, 40 laps each session except for 141.
Me and Maddie were not looking forward to this race.
No, we predicted ourselves to come about 15th.
Yes, because
when
you
there
were
was
on the
18
control of
cars
this
invented.
race.
So it came off to a bad start where I did the shootout and immediately crashed it in the dipper on the outlap.
So you didn't even get a timed lap in at all.
So I got no time lapping because I hit the chase, then coming to do the time lap, for which I cut the chase and lost both lap times, but I still did the lap anyway.
We're sitting there commentating your lap like, oh, what? Oh, this looks scrappy. I wonder where he's gonna be. Oh, it wasn't there.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I immediately
nowhere.
just went back into pit
Nowhere.
lane too. I didn't even go around the next corner.
So yeah, so that started off well for you guys. Dread had returned for this race, and Simmer. So these 2 guys weren't in the series. They've just appeared for
The Bathurst, the big one.
Bathurst 1,000. Just the big one. They want to do 1,000. There were signs showing that these guys were going to be fast when they were quicker than pretty much everyone by a bit.
Quite a margin.
Yeah.
We were looking at practice and he did a 59. Both of them were in the 59s. 1 minute 59s.
And we were, most of us had all increased our pace from previous year. We were down to 2-minute ones, 2 minutes now. And these guys were at 59. So, oh, great.
At the time, I hadn't even done
Also-
a 202.
Yeah.
I
And
hadn't
at
done
this
it to a 6.
and at this time, I've won Indy, I've won Le Mans. That gives me 2 out of 3. Let's show the cash cow car now, which is in. What it is?
Go, Cash Cow.
Third. I
We
think
just
third.
nickname it
That's
the Cash Cow, even though it says Cash Show, just for a giggle.
Yeah.
Artistic is the code word.
Yes. So there it is. There it is on the screen right now. The cursed car, the cursed sponsored car. So where was I? So yeah. So Dread and Simmer, they're quick. They're absolutely quick. Everyone else has picked up their pace, but nowhere near these guys. So qualifying, you've buggered it up. So we start the race. Dread's wheel has died on him. He's got no force feedback. So into turn 1, he just has to get.
It's straight for the wall.
Yeah, he literally he couldn't stay on the start line, but he had to get off the line and probably get around turn 1, and then I think his plan was actually get around turn 1 and pull off to the side, stop the car, reset the wheel, and go again. Unfortunately, he was in the sand, just about touched the wall, I believe, and so he went from first to last, and that gave, I think Highland. I think was I doing the first? I can't remember who. Highland was doing the first.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he took the first session win.
He did over right solar in Illogical Sports. Could not be separated by more than a few seconds the whole time. That was when we saw Illogical Sports. He flicked the switch, man. He was bloody fast and has been since then.
That's it. Yep. Session 2 was pretty much, I think I did
I
that one.
I do think Session 1
Oh,
should
hang
get a
on.
shout out to my
That was a
amazing
crazy race.
undercut, where
Yes,
I went
you
from
did.
10th to just behind Dread.
Yeah,
We-
I made a mistake in that race and cost me your place.
So
Not
because
happy
this
about.
session was different to the Le Mans and Daytona, where you got a time progression.
Basically,
You had to stay on whatever lap you were on was the lap that got restarted on the next
Yeah.
session. So me and
So
Maddie are
basically-
out
so
there
basically-
going, drive to a number, try to stay on this lead lap. I don't know what position you're in. Don't waste time battling.
I think I
Just let the
pitted
car
2 laps
through.
earlier than I said I was going to pit as well.
You did good.
yeah. So basically, it's not like at Le Mans and Daytona where we do a time formula progression to keep people in. Because Le Mans, you can lap people, or Indy, Daytona, you lap people so much. So we should speed this up a bit more because we're running a bit late now. Just
Yeah.
about an hour and 10. So speed up. So yeah, so we get to session 2 for data.
Sorry, can I just make one more thing? Dredd then came
Yeah, go.
from the back of the field to finish 4th in that session.
Yeah, so he did extremely well, setting the fast lap too.
Yeah.
With 2:01.174. So finished a minute behind, but that's all right. Me and Highlander were like, oh, we're looking good now. But then session 3 happened. Session 2, I made a mistake, and Fred or Simo got to the lead with Weary Knight, and he was quicker than me. I felt quicker than me. He was running long pit stops, if I believe. He was running really.
He was running quite long. He got geared in the first session, and then he was in for the last 3.
That's it. So yeah, so they got to second, and Highlander and myself into third. Few people down pit laps now during instance. Session 3, Dread doesn't win it by big. I made a move on Weary Night. Dread had a terrible start for session 3. He just didn't go at all.
I was almost ready to pass him, man. I was sitting there in 4th, I can't believe I'm right on his ass.
Just jumped him massively and just started pulling the gap. But I could see myself, I was quicker than Weary. I'm catching. So then I've decided to go, I'm going to make a move here, but I locked the brakes, send it into turn 1, and just couldn't quite pull it up. Me and Weary go wide, and then Dread pulls out and runs in front of me. Like, oh man, he's in front now, he's just going to pull away. Didn't pull away from me, which I actually thought was a bit I was actually quite surprised. So I finished 3 seconds behind him, which I felt myself, that's pretty good then.
Yeah, because I got in front of you guys in that as well. Dropped back behind you, and then was racing with Weary Knight for 3rd place. And that was when I pitted earlier than him, but it's a bit of a tangle up the top of the mountain. I got a bit of damage, and just limped it home for 4th, with still 6 cars on the lead lap coming to the start of the 4th session.
That's it. And then we get to session 4, where it all went pear-shaped for myself and Highlander. So we started the race in 2nd, right behind Dread. I thought, Highlander, I reckon he could have taken the Dread. Get about, I think it was 10 laps in, I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah, about 10 laps in. And then we're looking, this looks a bit odd from Highland, and bang, gone, disconnected. And our race was done right there and then. Highlander was not a happy man.
He was shattered.
He was shattered, because most of the time when he races at Bathurst, anytime he races at Bathurst, always tends to finish 2nd. He just can't seem to get up in that top step. I did say to him, well, at least you didn't finish 2nd this time.
I've never said that. I would have rather a 2nd than a disconnect any day.
Yeah, and we finished 13th out of that. We were dead last.
This was actually one of the... Sorry, go on. Yep.
Yeah, Dred and Simo, the wildcarders, they come home for the win. So they stopped my chances of getting the Triple Crown this year.
The question was who was going to come 2nd after that, because
yes,
it was a great race between the Woody Lizard and Illogical Car, Weary Knight, and Right Solar as well. Yeah, and Far Kennel.
And
anyone's,
Game and
could have been anyone's.
So all those 3 cars were battling for 2nd place.
Weary dropped it.
Yeah.
But I
personally.
think the best was me and Maddie actually came home in fifth, which was one of our best results. And the cash cow curse couldn't stop us at that race. We just did everything right, and we were stoked, man. We were like so happy with that.
The curse was trying to take it
Yeah,
away from us
it
because
did try.
I lost the ability to change down gears at the end of that. So I'm just cruising around. I'm cruising around Bathurst in fourth.
So we'll go through these last couple of races really quickly. So we'll move this on quickly. So then after Bathurst, we get to Laguna Seca. Logical Sport wins ahead of you, Commander Series, and Dado. Second race. This was a sprint race here at Laguna Seca. Sirius, you win that race, the second one.
The cash cows only win.
Yeah, that's it. The curse couldn't stop at that time. Definitely got it the next session.
Yeah, because Matty was getting the brunt of the curse the first two
Oh,
races.
mate,
he was.
I got I got the brunt that whole race. Got spun twice, disconnected in the third one.
Yeah.
And after the disconnect, it turned its head on me, and I had issues.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then it came after you. So Logical Highlander Woody won that race. Lobby 2, Super 2. Devil X, I think that's his first race win for us in the group.
It was only his third race for the group.
Yeah, so new upcomer. He's going to be the one to watch for next year. Jetto, who's come back now. He's come back to the championship. So he's done the first round, Bathurst and Laguna Seca now. So he wins the second race, and then he wins the third race with not having Devil finishing. So Devil had a really good round. He won race 1, finished second race 2, and finished race 3 in third. So he had a 1-2-3 that night. Then we get to the final round of the championship. Spa. V8 Supercars at Spa. Never done it before, but hey, this is going to be fun. It was all to battle for the championship now. Highlander was on the comeback trail after dropping a mountain of points at Bathurst. Woody Lizard by finishing second, and Illogical Sport gained a massive amount of points. But Illogical and Woody had found something in the car, and they were now quick. So Spa was on the limit for championship results here. So we'll go through Super 2 right now. Dark Lord gets, I think...
That was his first, yep.
Yeah, that was his first win. And Timmy A2 gets, well, technically his second win for the year.
Because Timmy was chasing Night Havoc for the championship in that class as well.
Yep. So, and then, so Night Havoc won the Super 2 championship, I believe, over Timmy, I think it was. V8 Supercars. Woody Lizard wins race 1 over Highlander with Illogical Sports. So that's closed. That's pulled Woody a bit of away, but that's closed Highlander on Illogical Sports now. I think they've actually switched positions now. Woody's leading. Highlander's jumped up to second in the championship. Illogical's back into third now. Final race of the year. Highlander has to win it, and Woody has to finish right down the back to lose the championship here. But unfortunately, we did not start, which made Woody have to finish last. And then right at the end, Devil did not finish. So no matter what Woody did in that race, he couldn't be defeated. He was going to win that championship. But then the championship race was on for second place still between Illogical and Highlander. But because Illogical finished ahead of Highlander, that reversed the grid positions again. So it was a team extra 1-2 the V8 Supercars with Woody Lizard winning and Illogical Sports jumping Highlander. So the championship points was 1,287 to Woody Lizard to 1,237 for Illogical to 1,232 for Highlander. So that was super close there.
3 points between myself and Dado for fourth as well. That was a nail biter.
That's it. So that turned out. And with Super 2, with Jetto only doing literally a handful of rounds, he finishes fifth.
Yeah.
He finishes fifth. He
didn't have a good Bathurst either because what's his name? Not Pegasus was on the bender or something the night before and missed the first stint.
Yeah. So Jetto, if Jetto did all the rounds, he could have taken out. But so Night Havoc won that one by a decent margin over Timmy. So that was so Woody Lizard won for Supercars.
With only one race win.
Yeah. He almost won the championship without winning the race. The first time an ANZCRL combined champion was nearly crowned without winning a race at all.
Consistency,
So
mate. That's all there
that's
is.
it. That is it. So then we'll go through the two final special events, which was the Spa 2.4 hours. So 2.25 hours of driving.
I thought it was 2 hours,
Of
40
Spa.
minutes. That's what I thought, but anyway.
It's less than that. I'm pretty sure.
Race results say...
No, it's laps, 60 laps.
Yeah, it says 2 hours,
62
27
laps.
minutes, sorry. Yeah, for the
Yeah.
top
So it's a
split.
2 hour, 25-minute race. So we had two races, but counted to the one sort of result, sort of dealio. Colonel Lloyd comes back for this race in the McLaren, and Dred's here as well. And Lloydie was that quick, it was not funny. He was uncatchable. No matter what he did, in that McLaren, he was destroying everyone.
Yeah, it was
But
quick
it
in
also was the
practice.
race of it was also the race of people who do want to be in the top three.
And
As
the
soon as someone got
mistakes.
to the top three, they would spin. The big surprise for that race was one Jetta who qualified right at the back of the pack and just kept running the car, not doing anything fancy. Comes home in third for that
Yeah,
race.
it was
Big
a
long race, so it just shows what consistency he can do. If you don't get involved in stuff, he finishes third.
Yeah, we had 6 Mercedes cars in the field too. All of them looked
That's it.
strong too. Would have been in there
And
for the podium.
speaking of the cash show curse car, Woody Lizard was running the car that was responsible for that, and he did not have a good race either.
He was running third, actually. He was looking like he was going to take that until he
He was
ran into
until
Dado.
the curse kicked in. That's it. So it kicked in hard, and then all down there for that. So then in the second lobby, we had Commander Sirius yourself in a BMW take out that lobby, and I believe we had a incident right at the start.
Did we? I don't remember.
Yes, I think you guys had an incident coming down to a Rouge.
No, that was ELMS, if that's the one I'm thinking of.
No,
Yeah.
you guys had something happen because you had one person who's retired with 48 laps down, so that's quite early on.
Oh, no, he, just, do you think he was just having a tough race and pulled out early? But slide signs disconnected.
The wall of death.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he touched the wall of death. That was slide science.
Ah, yes. So
20 laps to go. Yep.
Yeah, so we had a bit of a small incident there, but not. But yeah, so that was fun.
But yeah, I love driving
So
that
that was-
BMW. It was fun, a lot of fun, good event.
So that was the Spa 2.4 hours. Then we go to the Mammal Continental 300, which is a Group C prototype sports cars.
Yep.
That was heaps of fun with
GTO class.
myself and yourself running the Nissan GP ZX Turbo.
Brilliant machine.
And we were the class actually. I think we were just gone in race pace.
I think it was a bit Mercedes.
We were expecting the Mercedes.
No.
We were expecting the Mercedes to be at the front, but it just didn't quite actually happen. So we ran 2 lobbies again because also we had GTO cars in it. So Dreads decided I'm not going to do the top class. I'm going to do the bottom class, running a Ferrari F40. So this race was a race between yourself and myself going for the win. As far as
teammates
no
as
one
well.
else. That's it. We're teammates, and we were going for hammer and tong. You qualified on pole in a really quick lap, which I just couldn't work out how you did it, but you did it. But at the start, coming up to the bus stop, I had a good run, and I was on the inside, and I was like, well, I'm just going to go to the inside here and see what happens. And I think you backed out of it.
At the start, there was a crash off the line, wasn't there?
I can't remember, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it would have been, because
the third
turbo
place
and
car.
cold tyres and big boost, don't go well together.
Yeah, some of the guys in the GTO got caught up in that, but we continued on.
That's it. So I made the move on the inside of you at the thing, and then we spent, 30 laps? No, 20 laps.
I pitted on lap 22, even though we could do about 28.
So we spent 20 laps, separated by no more than about 5 seconds, I think it was.
Yeah, it came in between. Well, actually, I got into the lead again at another time, but yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much didn't get bigger than 4 seconds.
Yeah, so we'll separate by nothing. Then you pitted early, which I was actually thought, well, that's a bit early. That's a bit, ballsy.
Yep, it
But
was
it
all
paid
part.
off for you, didn't it?
Yeah, I came in and I was looking at my relative a lot, deciding, am I gonna get a clean lap? Because we were 10 seconds a lap quicker than or more than that actually, quicker than the GTO cars. So traffic, it was busy. It was very busy. We barely got a clean lap in. But I was always having a look at that to see where I'd catch them during my lap. And I decided lap 22, Darky's about to hit the traffic, and I'll pit this lap. So I'll get a bit of an undercut. I half filled the tank, did a set of tyres, and because they did tyres and fuel at the same time. And see you later, back out onto the track.
Yeah. So once you done your stop, and then once I did my stop, because I ran it all the way to the end,
You did another 5
you had
laps.
you had a big advantage over me. Like you,
10
I
to
think you pulled
12
out
seconds, but that was because
you
I
were
only
like,
filled half the
whoa.
tank. Yeah.
Yeah, you were just gone. I'm like, whoa, how did he pull out such a big gap? But in that session, you were running fast laps than I was, than I could do, because you were just I could see you pulling the gap, pulling the gap, pulling the gap. But then it all came to a head after the pit stops when you pitted for the second time and the final time, because I think you had to put a bit more fuel in that time.
Because I only did 22 laps in the first stint. I filled it just over halfway and got to lap 20 again. Or just, didn't. I was either 38 or 40 out of 56. Came in around then to do another 10, 15 laps. Oh no, it was more than 10. It was about 15 lap stint to the end with another just under half a tank of fuel. I put a bit extra in just to be safe, but yeah, about half a tank again. New set of tyres.
That's it. So then the advantage was my way by I think it was like 30 plus seconds.
Yep.
So I was trying to pull the gap and trying to get there. So then I had to pit. My pit stop was going to be short.
Yeah, because
then I've done my pit stop. I'm coming out of the pit lane and I'm looking at the track map. I'm looking at the relatives. I'm looking at the track map. And then just as I reach the end of pit lane, I see this white dot coming down to turn 1, and that's yourself. And then just as you come out of turn 1, I get on the power just a fraction bit too hard, too early. The rear end of my you've just sneaked in.
This was
just
with
in front
4
of me.
laps to go. Lap
Yep,
51.
4 laps to go. Yep. I get on the power just a bit too early. The car slides out. You've just snuck in front of me. My rear tyre crosses the white line for pit lane, and I get myself a drive-through. And that was it for me. And I was devoed then. I was like, oh, I'm riding your back, so I could have taken it to you.
That was the fun.
So
the thing was though, I picked up a 3-second penalty on that lap, and it was like, and that's how bad I was going to have about that much in front of you coming out.
Yeah. So then I'm at the pits. Then I had to do the drive-through, and that was pretty much my race over. Then it gets worse for me. The next lap around, I made a mistake coming into the bus stop, and crashed the car that badly that when I eventually got to pit lane and got going, you had finished the race. I spent literally, I think it was like I went down a lap because the repairs were that big.
Yeah, I finished 2 laps ahead of you. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
And you still
the
finished
repairs
second.
were that bad, so I had to get around, get in the pits, and you literally finished the race, lapped me, and then I got out and finished my lap. The car was that damagedly bad, so that was an incident race. A disappointing finish for myself, but good for you.
It was again another race that I was the first stint when I saw you in front, and I knew I had pace to keep up with you. But what always happens is I get to the base and I'll either make a typical serious error, or something happens on my end technical, and so I was like just sweating, gripping that wheel so hard that first stint, trying to keep up with you and not let you get away, because I knew if you were gone, I was never going to catch you again. And
That's it.
yeah, that race was just something else, eh?
That's it. And Dredd came home in the GTO. He
Yep.
only finished 6 laps down behind you. He actually finished ahead of a few Group C cars. He finished ahead of Dark Lord.
Yeah, Dark Lord struggled in that Porsche, but yeah.
That's it.
Quick Mick finished third in the Group C's as well in the Sauber. So, a good result for him. Benelogical Sports second, and Dado third in the GTOs. And then
Alright, so
the
we'll
bottoms.
get through these final championship rounds real quickly because I've got a couple little stats here to go through at the end here. So then we get to BMW Series Spectacular. 4 races, 1 night equals 1 championship, driving a different type of BMW week in, week out. So, first week, 2002 Stansworks edition. We actually ran a Saturday night and a Sunday night. The only time we actually did this. These cars were super fun to drive, especially in the wet at Oxford-Schlesien.
In the main qualifying.
That's it. That was, you literally had to drive in the wet. Was basically just drive it hard, just send it and avoid the puddle. That was some of the best driving, funnest driving I've had in ages. And me and Illogical, because we were like the pro guys, and this was meant to be the slightly slower guys. We were going to start from the back of the pack of all the races, except for that wet race, because I wanted to qualify in the wet. I want to have some fun in the wet. We were going to start all the races at the back of the pack. For myself, in that Saturday night race, by the time I got to, most of the time before I even did one lap, I'd already jumped half the field. Like by the time I've done like half a track, I jumped half the field. Look, my starts were that good. The racing was pretty fun. So, and really good. So I won that championship over Woody Lizard, which came down to the last race again, which was barely any points. Absolutely nothing there. Then we get to the Sunday night. I won that one again, but that was a much harder one that night because Dark Lord had really come to it really picked up the pace that night.
Yeah, I thought I was going to win the races at Hockenheim too. I made mistakes.
Yeah, and then so I won 2 races and Dark Lord won 2 races. So that was a Stansworks Championship done. M1 Pro Car Series. I decided to step out of it because it wasn't my particular thing. Woody Lizard won that one over at Illogical Sports, and you finishing 3rd in the Channel 7 cash cow.
Yep, we've been that. He saw that was there again, and we're like, screw it, we're bringing it back. We'll have a go in the cash cow, and we've both got hit big time in that as well. It's the thing with the cash cow, you can always just blame the curse, but
so it's fair to say, don't run that car.
Yeah.
Okay, then we get to Group A BMW, so old was it 80s, early 90s? Yeah, about that. Touring cars. Weary Knight was the man to beat as far as I could see at the first round. He was just ridiculously quick, but you were the man to put on pole, I think, for pretty much every single race, wasn't it, Sirius?
I had pole for 3 of the races, yeah. 2 at Brands Hatch and 1 at Silverstone.
That's right. So,
with actually Devil got the other one.
That's it. Unfortunately for myself, I made a massive screw up at the first race at Silverstone. Did qualifying. I qualified 4th. Okay, I'm doing real, but in the race, the car wouldn't turn right. I'm like, what's wrong with this car? I couldn't work it out. Get to the next race, I had an all-terrain tyre on my front left.
That's a right-hand track.
So, yeah, it's a right-hand track. You need that front left-hand tyre to turn, and I had an all-terrain. So I was fine turning right.
You're fine through the grass.
Oh, yeah, I could turn one direction really well, but the other way was not going to happen. So, and I was like, that's why I was so slow.
Nice.
So, so I finished 2nd in that one to Weary Knight and Illogical. No one knows this, but I made a pack with Sirius for Brands Hatch, didn't I, Sirius?
Yeah, or at least the second race, yeah.
And unfortunately, it didn't pay off. So the plan was, I was really just to have some fun. In the first race, my plan was just to sit behind Sirius and just race. I'm not going to put any pressure on him, just sit there and race. Race 2, I sent Sirius a message before the race. Hey, mate.
This was after I already binned it from the race lead in the first Brands Hatch race.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I inherit the race lead and won the race. So I literally sent Sirius a message. Hey, if you get in front and I'm behind you, I'm going to sit behind you and not make the move. I will just sit there and follow you around. That is my plan. Which actually was working for about...
It was lap 9 or 10.
7, 8, 9 laps. You were actually pulling a gap.
Until I cheated him on.
I thought I had a point to
Yeah.
prove, so I was pushing hard.
Yeah, which you didn't. You didn't have a point to prove because Weary Knight, who was super quick.
I wanted to be like, I should have won this championship, but anyway.
Yeah, but Weary Knight had an incident qualifying, was down the back, so he was making his way through the field. Get to the race, I could see Weary Knight coming, so I thought, okay, if you actually look at my lap times in the race, in the first part of the lap, my laps are slow. In the back half of the race, I am flying because I could see Weary Knight coming. Like, okay, I need to push a bit now to stop Weary Knight from, if he gets to me, not make it life so easy for me. He doesn't. Oh, he actually does almost get to me. He got to me in like the first one. That was due to a lag spot. But yeah, so I'm sitting behind Sirius, just hanging back there, just doing my race. And next time I come around was at the top in the GP.
8-second gap I had on you.
yeah, an 8-second gap. And then I come around, as I come towards the corner, I see Commander Sirius and his profile picture up against on the side of the track. I'm like, oh no, don't tell me he's back. Come around the corner, there he is, hard up against the wall.
Typical Sirius.
Typical Sirius is crunched into the wall. And I'm like, oh man, I wanted to let you get the win and that stuff. And then, yeah.
And I was so angry.
Just as you get the biggest disappointment message that I've ever sent on a Twitch stream.
That's it.
You got praise and then at the same time I went, no, we've lost backing from the Vatican. They're not happy anymore.
I just missed the apex slightly, and there's a huge sawtooth curb on the exits, and I knew how to hit that curb right. If I always avoid it, but if I'm gonna hit it, I make sure I hit it right. So I've hit it straight. Straddled it through the middle. I was gonna ride it off to the end, but just as you come back on, the bump got me, and it just sent me to the right. It's like it was no saving it. It was like, okay, I was like, just when I thought I've got this, I'm not gonna crash now. It's when I just turned it right straight away. Like I was in the fence before I realised what had happened. And game over. I think I limped home to 4th AHM, just caught me, and I was so slow.
Yeah. So that's a bit of inside movement. So for that. Then we get to the final championship of the year, the BMW V12 LMR Championship. So 1990s, BMW sports cars. So 4 races again, 2 at Sonoma, 2 at Long Beach.
Long Beach was horrendous.
Maddie had a really tough weekend.
Yeah, that's so. Here's something else. So we get to Long Beach. I think a qualifying pole. Oh, I'm near. No, I can't remember who qualified.
You got pole. There's only 2 qualifyings because we went straight into a race. Second 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'm up at the front. Yeah, I snagged pole. I think I can't remember.
You did. Yeah, the logical was second, and I was third.
That's it. So we get into the race. Illogical, something's happened to him. Racing around, and I've pulled a bit of a gap, and I thought, you don't know this, but I wasn't in the mood to win this race. I wanted to give you a hand because you had you screwed up in the group.
I knew it.
I wanted to give you a win.
I fucking.
So I was trying to deliberately, but not deliberately, slow up, screw up, or spin. When I did spin, I actually didn't intend to actually spin.
I hate when people do that to me. That's terrible. We shouldn't have done that. No.
Hey, it was fun for me. So no. You got the first win at Sonoma. Second race didn't go your way.
You could have easily, just because you were pointing towards the infield, which was paved, you could have just planted the throttle before I got to the corner too.
But you also got to remember, this thing's a V12. What does it like to do? Smoke the tyres.
It's going around the outside of
goes nowhere.
Smoke the tyres and spin next corner.
Yeah, that's it. And I was more like, I'm going to stay here. You can work out where you want to go, and once you've gone past, then I'll go. Because that's normally the safest option in sim racing.
I got used to that.
If the other car sees you, stop, then wait for them to go. So then, second race, that did not go well for you. You had an incident, I think.
I got to I started the race on pole. I went wide. I missed the braking bit because you were right behind me, and spun out. And then spun out later on that lap as well. Hit the wall.
I pitted that race in 4th. and because we had the pit stop mistakes on option, I got a
Oh, yeah.
1 minute 10 pit stop from fourth place.
That's it. So that's
I had lost my cool by the end of that, and the
You also had
the
a
whole
penalty, you
weekend
also had
was over.
Yeah, because you had an incident in the first race as well that it gave you
Yeah.
a car issue too.
So my 4 pit stops at all these races added up to a total time of 1 minute 50 seconds.
Yes, that's 2 minutes of racing loss.
So
So then we get to Laguna Seca. Now this is where it was going to be really interesting because
No,
I
it's Long
love
Beach.
Long Beach. Sorry, my mistake. I love Long Beach, and I want to do really, really well there. All I wanted was one win at Long Beach, and I wanted the first win. Second race, I couldn't care less what happened then after that. So I'm in the lead. I do my pit stop. My clutch fails in pit lane.
Sorry.
I fall back to
Yeah.
about
20 you were 20
seconds
seconds
behind
back,
you,
yeah.
and I couldn't catch her. And it was like, I just want the one race win. That's all I wanted, and I would have probably parked up or just gone.
Bet you
Eh.
you were regretting letting me through then after that. You're like, oh crap.
No, I wasn't actually. I was actually like, championship point was down to 1 point for that final race. I was like, well, I want one win. I want Long Beach.
Yeah.
And then that race was actually on. That
It was a
race
bit
was
quicker
really
in
good and
that
was on.
second one.
Yeah, that was on until you came across one. I think it was I think the car was red and white, I believe.
Yeah, I was
I
red
think
and
it might
white.
be someone who's in this chat.
Purple
Yeah,
and
that was
white.
me. it was me who couldn't turn right.
And unfortunately, that put you into the wall, and that was pretty much the end of your race. And unfortunately,
Well, it wasn't actually because the last lap you'd made a big error, and so I was
oh
like,
yeah,
it could be
I was
on
making
again. And then I came into turn one, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna make it, so I went straight on and had to reverse out of the off ramp there.
Yeah,
So.
I made a few of those mistakes too. I had to do a 3.2 down the hairpin as well, not by choice, by pure mistake, by out braking myself.
Yeah, but I
So
had to
that
steer it
championship,
because if you still try and attempt the corner, you're done. You're gonna end up in the wall. You have to just go straight.
yeah. So that was good into that championship.
It was fun, those
So
BMWs.
that's it. So
They're hard.
that's it. So I've got two things here to go. So let's go. So in the BMW Spectacular Series, so I won the 2 Stanswick Series. Woody Lizard won the M1 Pro Car. Weary Knight won the Group A, and I won the LMR V12 sports cars. Now, the man. So let's go through people who won races this year. Yeah, I just need to find my thing. If I can find it, there it is. Okay, cool. No, I need that one. Okay, cool. All right. So, of the year. Yeah, I'll write this down. Okay, so we'll go through this. The people who raced ANZ Combined Racing League for the year, who did more than 4 races, who qualified for a driver statistic, 46 people rocked up across the year. For a few people who rocked up just for 1 race or 2 races who didn't get a stat on our driver ranking system, we had 67 people for the entire year do a race for ANZ Combined Racing. 67 people. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of
Is that
people.
the most?
That's a lot. I don't know. I haven't looked at previous year's stats, to be really honest. Hello, cat. So yeah, that's a lot of people. 67 people, and 46 of them were regulars, basically.
Yep.
Now we get to winners, people who won races. This is in tier 2 as well. I've included this in this, and special event winners. So
And class winners.
and special event winners. Okay, so we'll go over the list how it's written down. So myself in the regular season won 12 races and I won 4 special events. Data Racer won 1 race in the regular season and 1 special event, which I was actually a bit shocked by. Got Gecko won 6 in the regular series. Aussie Cards won 8. Weary Knight won 9. Illogical Sports 6. Gear 3 Gaming won 2 in the regular season and 1 in special events. Highlander won 3 in the regular series and 1 in the special events. Jetto won 4 in the regular series and none in the special events. Lolux won 1. Night Havoc won 2. Simo Racer won 1 in the regular season and 2 in the special events. Commander Series yourself won 3 races in the normal series and 2 in the special events. Devil, one of the youngest guys in our series, won 1 race in the normal series. Woody Lizard, one of our fearless leaders, won 5 races for the year. Dark Lord won 3. Timmy82 won 1 race and 1 special event. Then we get to the people who just rocked up who just got special event wins. Colonel Lloyd won 2. Sato 15 won 1, and Metal Drive 05 won 1 race. So that's a good list of drivers who've won races that year.
And Matty Seeking won 0.
You'll get there, mate. This
0
next
races
year.
for Matty Seeking.
Cash cow all the way.
Got some podiums, mate.
There is one person who I haven't mentioned on the list. The man who won the most amount of races this year, Dredd. He won 20 races in the regular season and 2 special events for a grand total of 22 race wins over the whole year.
That's got to be
That is ridiculous.
A third of all the races, isn't it?
That's
pretty much it.
If my maths is terrible, I say yes.
Wow. What an achievement. That just shows the caliber of driver he was.
That's it. But I was hoping to get Dredd in to come and join us with this little podcast, which has run way, way, way too long. But hey, that's what happens sometimes. But I did get a statement from him. And he cut this statement down a lot.
Short story.
So I'm about to butcher this, but here we go. So this is from Dredd 00000000001.
0 to the power of 5.
Yeah. So this is from Dredd. From the moment Woody scouted me within the perils of the open multiplayer world of PC2, ANZCRL's commandership and focus on people's interests and expectations for competitive but fun competition has been a credit to all involved and a fantastic experience, which has strengthened my love of racing even more, bringing out the hunger to be better myself as a driver. Each race was diligently, butcher that word, prepared within countless hours of tuning and practice, and when it comes to showtime, the drivers told the story. Battles are plenty, like with Gear 3 Gaming, which saw us exchange the lead multiple times before the checkered flag waved at Barcelona in the ELMS series. Got Gecko's determination to stay in front at Mugello in the same series, and in Formula Renault series at Algarve brought excitement and a spectacle to the fans countless times. But there was always an arch rival, a nemesis. Although I respect and consider him a friend, Aussie Carter's 32, with his speed and consistency, continuous driving, push me to find that extra bit of speed, challenge him week in, week out. We will never forget. You misspelled a word there, actually. Never forget the win at Brno in the Formula Renault, only by 0.008 of a second. A huge thank you to my teammate Dark Racing 40, who drove superbly in the GTE series, always getting the best out of the Corvette, which was an exhibit of our dominations at the Nürburgring combined event. Although ultimately we lost to Aussie Cars and got Gecko by 3 points at the end of this series to me was the best of them all, and excitement of watching and cheering on my teammate every Saturday night was something that I eagerly awaited.
He's tearing up there, mate.
I said it's long. From the lows of losing the Formula Ford Series by a mere 2 points in the last race to the highs of winning every race in the ELMS Series. This has been a fantastic journey and experience, ending my PC2 chapter with a win with Simo at the Bathurst 1000, the pinnacle of all races. Was a fairy tale ending and the highlight of my season. Taking pole in the top 10 sheer, but me putting it into the sand on the first corner of lap 1 made for a last to first challenge, which was not ideal, but to credit to Simo, who took up the challenge and also set the fastest lap ever by an ANZCRL member towards the back end of the race. All these memories would not be possible without an ANZCRL admin moderators and members. Therefore, I would like to thank everyone involved in the ANZCRL, as the amount of work behind the scenes is sometimes not realised or appreciated. And without their dedication and love for esports, none of us would be able to enjoy what we love doing. And this is to drive bloody fast and clean with friends. See you all on the dark side, as Dread is now moved over to PC land.
The dark side.
I said it was a story, and my God,
That was some nice words from Dread.
And he cut that down. I want to know how big the full one is. Is it a 10-page novel? Like, what do we got? That's pretty good from Dread, actually.
It was really nice.
That sums up pretty much the year. So
one of the nicest guys out there too. He wasn't one of those guys that was winning and gloating every week as well.
Yeah, one of the second generation of aliens. So Dread was the second alien we've had in the group. So we'll just have to wait to see if we get a new alien will arise from the land of God knows where for next year. Well, so I think we're pretty much just about done. So we will give a little preview for next year. So ANZ will be back again and more aggressive as ever. We will be slightly extending the breaks between rounds because us admins need a break to try and set things up. Championships, we'll give you a heads up right now. V8 Supercars will be back again. BTC will be back again. So if you've seen the race on YouTube that I posted in the group, that's going to be on the agenda. Special events will be back again. We're going to start the year on a special event and finish the year on a special event. So Daytona will be first. We're going to finish the year on Imola 4 hour. We're going to have the new team championship, which will be a short series. It's going to be 4 rounds, but it will be LMP3 and GT4. So that will be the teams championship. And we're going to run a GT3 series. Not endurance this time. It'll be more around sort of shorter sprint races this time, actually. So that will be fun. And we will have Formula C, which will be the ending of the year. So I think that's pretty much a lowdown for what's going to happen for next year for ANZ Combined Racing League.
Quick hint, get your community set up for that right now.
We also have the Le Mans 24-hour and Indy 500 back again as well.
Yep. And Bathurst 1000. So we'll
have
all the fan favourites
66
back
again.
That's it. I think that's in the list. I have to have a look, but yes. So I will be back in the hunt going for the Triple Crown, which I need to win Bathurst. That's all I need to do.
And I will be back trying to win GTEs in Le Mans again.
That's it. And I will be joining you in GTE because I want to be the first person to be... Well, technically, you can actually call me Mr. Le Mans now because I've won the race 3 times in 2 classes.
Do you have a lap record?
I'm going to be going... No, not yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't care. Doesn't matter. How many wins have you got at Le Mans, serious?
Well, I've only had 1 robbed from me from 1, so yeah, we'll see.
I will be commentary.
I will be going for a GT win there, hopefully, to be the first person to win Le Mans in all classes we've had there.
I will try to have a say about that.
That's it. I think everyone will be pretty much aimed to take me out straight away to screw me over.
No, I don't think that.
So I think we're here done. This podcast is one extremely longer. I think we're about to reach the 2-hour mark, actually.
I kind of knew it would take this long, to be honest. I didn't think we were done in an hour.
I wasn't hoping to be a little bit short, just a fraction bit shorter than this, but hey, you don't have to listen to this all in one hit, so that's all right. So you've had some decent footage on TV that's been running an 8-minute race for like 2 hours. So you've seen pretty much the same race over and over and over again.
What was your biggest crash of the year, Darky?
Did
you even crash in the race? It was probably that last one at
yes,
Sonoma, actually. Oh, it was
no.
Glenn.
The Glen was the biggest crash. The car was destroyed. That was my biggest crash of the year.
You ready?
What was your... Maddie, what was your biggest crash?
It'd have to be the M1 Pro car at Monza, with the 3 around the bend curve and turn 2. Commander Jim ripping the front end of his car out, not having caught him there. T-bone from Lolux, I've spinning off into the gravel.
Just chaos the start of that race.
Still crossed the line
It
fifth
was
in
a
that
racing
race.
accident too. That was the thing.
Yeah.
No one's fault. It's just, and my biggest one was at
Just
Fuji in GTEs. I had a huge tank slapper and spun across the front of a poor old metal drive, and freaking I got launched, man. I was flying, had no bonnets left on my car. His front end caved in. It was nuts.
Funnest race of the year.
Honest race, I'd have to say, was Indy.
Second, the
Indy
America's
500? Yep.
Formula Renault for me.
Okay.
Yours?
For me, I'm actually going to go with the Stanceworks cars. Actually, any of them were some of the funnest races I had. They were a joy. I'd have to say all the Stanceworks car races were the funnest for me.
I had fun in everything, mate. I love it. I don't care what car it is. I'll get in and I'd give it a go.
I'm pretty sure we can round off the biggest disappointment. Serious? Le Mans? Biggest disappointment?
That would be correct, yes.
Maddie seeking picking the cash cow car to race that.
The biggest disappointment for me is changing over to wheel and watching my licensing plummet downwards.
Go backwards. Go slow.
1 minute you're like, yes, I've got a wheel. I'm going to upgrade from controller and be faster, and then you've had a bad luck since then.
I've dropped about 4 seconds of pace.
That's right, they'll come back to you.
Well,
My biggest disappointment wasn't
Bathurst.
even me driving, would have to be Highlander disconnecting at Bathurst.
Well, that was the same with me at Le Mans. Jedi was in the car. I was in the commentary booth having to stay strong for the camera.
Can't cry.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's all fine.
I wanted to just walk out, but I'm like, oh no, it's not too bad. It's only a game.
That's it.
We take it pretty seriously.
Biggest race you're looking for or series next year?
Oh, honestly, I'd say Le Mans, but I hadn't done Daytona last year, and it's two cars I really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to Daytona.
Okay, so Daytona. Maddie, what about yourself?
Anything, to be honest, because by then we'll hopefully have P51 SimSport up and running. So,
yeah. What is this?
So it's a group of us drivers getting together to see if we can take over the league in terms of results.
And get 22 race wins.
We won't get 22 race wins. Among us, yes. but the honest answer for me, honestly, probably Daytona, to be honest.
Okay.
But you're not available for Daytona, though, aren't you?
No, not Daytona. Yeah, sorry, not Daytona. No, the NASCAR.
Oh, okay.
The Oval.
That'd be the first special event.
I am looking forward to BTCC.
Yep.
And I'll give you a heads up. I am going to be hungry for this championship because I got absolutely torpedoed. And
I've been hearing that rules don't apply for this championship.
In a race,
I didn't know Danny Kvyat was racing it. So.
Yeah. I think it goes by the name Taipan Samurai.
Oh, wow. Poor fella might be watching this like, hey, I might think about getting back in the league. Oh, never mind.
I don't control any of this stuff right now, Darky. You should apologise.
I do not support this.
No.
I'm offended.
Well, too bad. Hey, at least I don't buy a 1/5 RC car and go, oh, that's not that big. Yes, it is. and plan on taking it to a skate park. No, you're not. So that's a story for another day. But yeah, Mr. Tomato Samurai wanted to do that. So do you not know how big this thing is? It's like, no, that's not that big. Like, yeah, it is, mate. It's the size of a coffee table. Like, what? It's like, yeah.
Anyway.
So, yes. So I think we are done. We're pretty much reaching the 2-hour mark. We're going to pull the pin here. I think Sirius is going to turn into a pumpkin in a minute.
Yeah.
It's about getting close to midnight.
My nose is blocked up from my hay fever today.
All right. So don't forget to check us out on Facebook, which is AusNZ AUS NZ Combined Racing League. If you're a Project Cars 2 player on Xbox, or or Kiwi, and you want to come and do some fun racing, check us out on YouTube, which is AUS/NZ Combined Racing League. You can look at pretty much I think all this year's races have been streamed at some point. So you can look at all our series and all the races.
Not most of them. There were some issues every now and then, and
that's it.
Yeah, a few missing. Yeah.
Don't forget us on Instagram, which is our account is ANZCRL. That's it, just ANZCRL. We also have the website, which is AUSNZCRL.weebly.com. So check us out on that. And we also have the Twitch channel, which you're probably watching right now, which is ANZCRL. I think we are done. That's it. We're all over. I've been your host, Dark Racing 40. Alongside me is Commander Series and Maddie Seeking. That is it for the AusNZ Combined Racing League year
2020. Have a good one, guys. See you next
See ya.
year.
Bye bye.